I am Laerte, and in this sacred space called Gods of Semen, you are being initiated into a journey where science, psychology, and spirituality intertwine to reveal the hidden power your vital energy has always carried. Today, we will speak about what women notice first in you within the first 0 to 90 days of semen retention. In your face, in your voice, and even in your very scent. Invisible signals that expose your vitality and your deepest masculine essence. And if you, like so many men, have ever felt trapped by apathy, drained by anxiety, lost in overstimulation, and weakened by compulsion, this is the call to walk through the fire of reconstruction. For every detail revealed here is not a fleeting trick, but part of a greater process of spiritual transmutation that awakens focus, magnetism, and inner direction. Remain until the end, because I will deliver hidden keys that can redefine your energy and the way the world reacts to you. And if you desire to walk with me in this mission of reclaiming the conscious man, subscribe now and activate the bell. For each video is a step in this initiation, and together we will reach the mark of 25,000 initiates, not as spectators, but as part of a global movement of men who chose to awaken. Before a single word leaves your mouth, your body has already spoken. The first days of semen retention ignite subtle physiological changes that ripple outward, and women often perceive these before you even realize they are happening. Their attention sharpens in ways that appear accidental but are not. The glance that lingers for a fraction longer, the eyes that return to trace the outline of your face, the head that tilts slightly as you speak. These micro-reactions are the unconscious radar of feminine perception at work. They are scanning vitality, measuring stability, and testing presence. It is not about grand displays or dramatic transformation. It is about small, almost invisible signals that the nervous system is tuned to pick up. What women perceive in these early shifts is a recalibration of your vitality. When your dopamine cycle is no longer constantly hijacked, the body projects a steadier rhythm. Your eyes stop darting around and begin to lock into contact. Your voice drops into steadier resonance because your breathing is deeper. Even when you are silent, your presence feels more anchored. For women who have evolved to read nonverbal cues as a survival skill, these micro-shifts register immediately, even if they could never articulate them in words. They simply feel it. This radar translates physiology into an evaluation of health and status. A less puffy face does not just look better, it communicates reduced inflammation and steadier sleep. Skin that holds a calmer tone does not scream vanity. It signals hormonal balance and internal regulation. A posture that straightens even slightly broadcasts an unspoken truth. This man can carry weight, emotional, social, and physical. These details become social markers. Without effort or theatrics, you are reclassified. Instead of being unconsciously read as a consumer of distraction and dopamine, you are now read as a man who produces energy, who conserves resources, who can provide stability. That shift alone changes how women respond to your presence. Yet this transformation is never about instant fireworks. The power is not in intensity, but in consistency. One good day is invisible, but 30 good days begin to accumulate, and 90 days etch themselves into your very presence. Women are not noticing dramatic before and after shifts. They are registering the slow layering of stability. Over time, this produces a sense of coherence, the gaze that doesn't flinch under pressure, the voice that does not climb to seek approval, the gestures that remain economical and unhurried in silence. Early on, most cannot even put a finger on what feels different, but after weeks, the pattern is undeniable. You are steady, and steady men are rare. That rarity breeds both intrigue and respect. The mistake, however, would be to confuse attraction with mission. The magnetism that arises is a byproduct of self-control, not a trophy to manipulate others. If you turn retention into a game for validation, you destroy the very energy that fuels your presence. Your real objective must be vitality, the ability to show up with force and focus in your work, your body, your creativity, and your relationships. When these domains grow stronger, attraction appears naturally. Women sense the foundation of a man who is aligned, disciplined, and in motion. But retaining that power requires boundaries. You must remember, your presence is not theater, it is coherence. Every day you commit to it, you reinforce an invisible signature that others cannot help but notice, even before you say a single word. The journey of semen retention is not linear. It unfolds in distinct phases, each with its own physical, mental, and social markers. What women notice and what you feel shifts along this timeline, moving from subtle recalibrations to deeply ingrained presence. The progression matters because it reveals why consistency always outweighs intensity. In the first 7 days, the most visible change is not in your appearance but in your chemistry. As dopamine noise begins to quiet, your attention sharpens. Eye contact becomes a fraction more sustained, and your ability to remain present in conversation improves. But this early stage is fragile. The same hormonal recalibration that clears your focus can also spark irritability and restlessness. Women often notice the spark in your eyes, but may also sense tension beneath it. The challenge here is to stabilize without letting the energy explode sideways. Between days 7 and 21, the changes move closer to the surface. Your skin begins to stabilize. Breakouts or oil fluctuations calm down as your body finds equilibrium. Your eyes hold more brightness, a clarity that reflects steadier sleep cycles and reduced stress. Socially, you start to project small but noticeable signals of focus. Women sense this as an improved presence. You seem more switched on, less distracted, more grounded. These are the first micro-signals that begin to attract attention without you trying. From day 21 to 45, the shift deepens into posture, voice, and routine. Your body language hardens into subtle authority. Shoulders rest back, not forced, but carried naturally. Your voice develops firmer resonance, supported by deeper breathing and steadier rhythm. It is here that respect becomes tangible. People, including women, respond with more attentiveness. They interrupt you less. They wait for you to finish your sentence. The discipline of your routine translates into external authority, and the social environment mirrors it back to you. Between day 45 and 90, the signature becomes consistent. Energy no longer spikes and drops. It levels out into a stable baseline. This is the stage of magnetism that does not announce itself loudly, but is felt unmistakably. Women perceive a quieter pull. You are less reactive sexually, more calm in energy, and less dependent on attention. Your presence is now read as steady, which is rare enough to be magnetic. It is not the fiery glow of new momentum. It is the grounded heat of a man in control of himself. But this timeline is not without its traps. The flat line and plateaus often strike here, convincing you nothing is happening. Energy may feel neutral, even boring, and many relapse because they mistake steadiness for lack of progress. The truth is, this phase is the true recalibration, your nervous system learning to run on sustainable vitality rather than constant highs. Women, however, still notice. Even when you feel nothing, they perceive the reduced reactivity, the calmer responses, the quieter strength. It is proof that the journey is not about fireworks, but about permanence. This cycle, from the initial spark through the visible upgrades into the stable signature, is the invisible calendar your body keeps. Women may never know the day count, but they will always feel the shift. What begins as subtle attention in the first week crystallizes into respect by day 45 and solidifies into magnetism by day 90. That is why discipline is not measured in a single day's intensity, but in the ability to carry consistency across seasons. Each checkpoint builds upon the last, and together they create a presence that cannot be faked. When people say semen retention changes your appearance, what they often mean is that it refines the small details of the face that women are wired to scan first. Attraction begins not with muscles or clothing, but with subtle cues of vitality in the eyes, skin, and bone structure. These are the first silent signals of health, and they are the most difficult to fake. The eyes are the clearest window. After weeks of retention, their brightness shifts. The whites of your eyes become clearer, less bloodshot, and the irises appear sharper. This clarity is not mystical. It is a direct reflection of hydration, sleep regulation, and reduced inflammation. But women read it unconsciously as presence, alertness, and vitality. The gaze itself changes too. Instead of darting away in distraction or lowering under pressure, your eyes learn to hold contact without aggression. This balance, calm but steady, is often interpreted as quiet confidence, and it carries far more weight than a loud performance. How many days have you woken up empty, drained of energy, consumed by nights of compulsion, and hours lost in distractions that steal your essence? How many projects have you let die because your mind was dim and your body enslaved? The cycle is always the same: fatigue, anxiety, loss of focus, broken promises. But there is a hidden path for men who refuse to be devoured by the world, an initiatory portal. That portal is the Patreon gods of Semen, a sacred space reserved only for those who dare to guard, transmute, and reclaim their strength. Inside you will find daily access to invisible weapons you cannot get anywhere else, daily posts of spiritual activation, videos forbidden on YouTube, ritual PDFs for immediate practice, complete series on semen retention, spiritual warfare and applied philosophy, plus early access to new content and hidden keys. This call is limited. Only the first 10 men who join through the pinned comment will receive the special promotion. This is not entertainment, but an inner battlefield. There is no place here for those seeking shortcuts, only for those courageous enough to become guardians of themselves. The choice is clear: remain a slave to your vices, dimmed and empty, or rise as one who guards, who creates, who masters himself. Click the pinned comment and claim the promotion now. Within you lies a raw code of masculine energy, and the Saad ebook Stored Sex. The Code of Raw Masculine Energy is the initiatory manual to unlock it. More than 170 pages, divided into 8 complete modules, with activation phrases, spiritual practices, and retention rituals, capable of transforming your sexual energy into focus, strength, and spiritual clarity. This is not just a book. It is a ritualistic key that separates ordinary men from those who dare to awaken their inner power and rewrite their own story. If you desire to access this deep transmutation, the link is in the description and pinned comment. But take note, the promotion is exclusive to the Ishgrauer first 10 warriors who join now. Skin is the second upgrade. Retention alone does not replace proper nutrition, but it amplifies the effects of clean habits. Oil production stabilizes, reducing the shine or frequent breakouts that come from hormonal fluctuation and overuse of dopamine triggers. A smoother texture forms as your body processes nutrients more efficiently, with steadier sleep and lower stress hormones. What women see is not vanity but regulation. Skin that looks rested, balanced, alive. They interpret it as evidence of internal order, a body in harmony with itself. The jawline and overall face shape follow next. Fluid retention decreases, especially when you cut back on alcohol, processed foods, and excessive salt. Combined with strength training and better sleep, the result is a face that looks more angular, less swollen. Cheekbones appear slightly sharper, the jawline less blurred. These are micro changes, but socially they matter. A tighter facial structure subconsciously signals resilience, discipline, and health. Women may not analyze the mechanics, but they respond to the overall impression. A man who looks less drained and more composed. To sustain these changes, a minimal routine is enough. 10 minutes per day can amplify the natural upgrades retention already provides. A simple face wash, moisturizer, and sunscreen keep the skin protected without drowning it in artificial products. A well-groomed beard or stubble frames the jaw and communicates intention without excess vanity. Nail and hair grooming kept consistent complete the impression. This is not about becoming obsessive with looks. It is about aligning external care with internal discipline. Women notice the harmony between the two. The man who is vital on the inside and polished but not overdone on the outside. The face upgrade is not cosmetic trickery. It is the natural unveiling of what your physiology looks like when it is not being constantly drained. Retention clears the fog, and consistency reveals the structure beneath it. The eyes, the skin, and the jawline are the first signs women pick up on, long before they ever think about your style or physique. They do not need to name it to feel it. They simply sense a face that carries more life. While the face projects vitality, the voice projects authority. Women are instinctively attuned to vocal cues because a man's voice communicates stability long before his words do. During semen retention, as posture, breathing, and energy stabilize, the voice naturally deepens in resonance and steadiness. What changes is not necessarily pitch, but presence. The sound carries weight, and that weight commands attention without effort. Breathing and posture are the foundation. Most men, drained and distracted, breathe shallowly from the chest. On retention, with improved energy and more awareness of the body, breathing shifts downward into the diaphragm. Shoulders settle back, the spine aligns, and the torso becomes a natural amplifier. This simple correction strengthens the projection of your voice, making it more grounded and less shaky. Women hear this as assurance. They are not just listening to sound, they are feeling whether the voice vibrates with steadiness or leaks uncertainty. The rhythm of speech is the second upgrade. A man who rushes, fills silence, or chases reactions reveals nervous energy. With retention, patience deepens. You begin to speak more slowly, pausing deliberately instead of scattering words. Those pauses, rather than feeling awkward, communicate confidence. They give weight to your sentences and signal that you are not afraid of space. Women often interpret this as leadership energy, because leaders do not hurry to be heard. They expect to be listened to. Practical drills make this refinement tangible. 5 minutes a day is enough to condition the voice into security. Humming exercises train vibration and resonance. Reading aloud in a slow, deliberate rhythm improves pacing and articulation. Recording yourself once a week and listening back exposes the gaps. The rushed words, the upward tones that seek approval, the unnecessary filler sounds. Correcting these week after week produces a voice that holds the room naturally. Over time, the voice becomes one of your strongest silent signals. Women hear the difference immediately. Less strain, more gravity, fewer nervous spikes. Even casual conversations feel different because the timbre carries assurance. You do not need to speak louder or force dominance. The depth of control makes its own impression. This is why, after weeks of retention, people often comment that you sound different, even if they cannot explain why. What they sense is a man whose words now rest on a stable foundation. The upgrade of the voice is more than a social advantage. It is a reflection of internal order. A grounded voice mirrors a grounded mind. When women hear it, they are not simply responding to acoustics. They are responding to the presence behind it. The voice, like the gaze, is a signature of coherence, and coherence is what makes retention visible without being announced. Long before words or conscious attraction, scent operates as one of the most primal communicators of vitality. Women are biologically tuned to detect subtle chemical cues that reveal health, stability, and hormonal balance. On semen retention, the shift is not in adding something artificial, but in the removal of chaos. The body's natural odor, once dulled or distorted by stress, poor sleep, or overuse of dopamine, becomes cleaner, sharper, and more consistent. The distinction between clean sweat and chaotic sweat is critical. When your body runs on poor sleep, overstimulation, and junk food, sweat carries volatile compounds that signal instability. It does not matter how much cologne you use, the underlying chemistry leaks through. Retention, combined with regulated rest and reduced stress, alters the signature. Sweat becomes less acidic, less frantic, and more neutral. Women may not consciously describe it, but they instinctively perceive the difference between disorder and vitality in the way a man smells. Inside you there's a fire that never dies but that remains dormant, waiting for the moment to be awakened. This fire is Kundalini, the sacred serpent that rises through the spine and ignites consciousness itself. The book Alchemy of the Gods is the portal that reveals the path of this transmutation. The secret of the crystalline oil, the divine oil that awakens the mind, strengthens the body, and frees the spirit from the invisible chains that imprison it. Each page is a ritualistic key, each line a seal broken toward your true spiritual freedom. Available in physical, digital, and audiobook formats, this is not just a book, it is an instrument of activation, a calling for those who do not want to survive on autopilot but desire to ascend. Access the link in the description or pinned comment and step now through this portal of transformation. But before anything else, I have news you didn't expect. There is a complete map for those who want to walk the path of semen retention without stumbling into traps. It is the audiobook Semen Retention Success Path, more than 2 hours of intense content, divided into 6 deep themes covering everything from focus to spiritual unlocking. This is the definitive guide for those who want to remain firm, expand their energy, and build inner strength. And for those who join now, there is an exclusive bonus, 30% off the ebook The Art of Semen Retention for Men. With more than 20 practical pages, you can apply immediately. The link is in the description and pinned comment. And if you want to go further, becoming part of the foundation that sustains this mission, become a member of the channel. Gain early access to videos, receive priority answers to your questions, and directly support this spiritual work that does not belong to one man, but to an entire generation seeking awakening. Hygiene then becomes a matter of enhancement, not disguise. A daily shower, clean clothes, and grooming maintain freshness without erasing your natural chemical signature. The mistake many men make is drowning themselves in sweet or synthetic perfumes that cover rather than complement. When your body is aligned, less is more. A light, subtle fragrance that enhances rather than masks allows the authentic signal to remain intact. Women are not attracted to an artificial cloud. They are drawn to the underlying stability that the scent communicates. The base stack for sustaining this chemical upgrade is simple but non-negotiable. Water with mineral balance prevents dehydration that amplifies odor volatility. Daily exposure to sunlight regulates circadian rhythm and boosts hormonal stability. Protein from whole foods and sufficient micronutrients fuel recovery and cellular order. These are not cosmetic tricks. They are the foundation of a body that smells alive rather than stressed. Women notice not only the absence of unpleasantness, but the presence of a subtle magnetism, a scent that feels aligned with strength and health. Beyond chemistry, there is aura, the invisible field of presence shaped by consistency. Aura is not mystical glow, but the combined effect of clean physiology, calm nervous system, and focused energy. When you walk into a space on retention, with posture steady, eyes clear, voice grounded, and scent clean, the environment reads it instantly. Women, especially, register this as coherence. Everything about you is aligned in one direction. That alignment is what they feel before a word is spoken. The scent and aura upgrade is one of the most silent yet powerful shifts. It cannot be faked, it cannot be bought, and it cannot be replicated without discipline. When women sense it, they are responding to the deepest layer of attraction. Not style, not performance, but biology in order. And when biology is in order, presence follows effortlessly. Once your face, voice, and scent begin to align, the social field around you shifts. Women, often without deliberate intention, start to test the stability they perceive. These are not always overt challenges. They are subtle probes to confirm whether the energy you project is real or fragile. Understanding these dynamics is essential because the tests are less about attraction and more about congruence. Does the external presence match the internal order? The first layer is microsignals. Women may hold eye contact longer than usual, ask casual but probing questions, or lean slightly closer into your physical space. These are not declarations of interest, but calibrations. They are gauging how grounded you are when attention tightens. Do you fidget, break eye contact nervously, or overreact to the proximity? If so, the signal collapses. If not, the subtle escalation continues. Then come the congruence tests. These often take the form of light teasing, playful contradictions, or deliberate shifts in tone. The aim is not cruelty, it is verification. A woman may joke about something you said, or challenge a small statement to see if you hold your frame. Men who panic, over-explain, or defend excessively reveal that their calm energy is a mask. Men who respond with patience, humor, or steady silence prove that their stability is genuine. This is where retention shows its deeper value. The reduced reactivity allows you to absorb pressure without collapsing. Boundaries are the final and most important piece. A man on retention is not simply attractive because of vitality. He is attractive because he carries mission and discipline. That requires a clear code of conduct. Flirting is natural, but chasing or grasping for attention betrays your own practice. When invitations to chaos appear, late-night distractions, excessive validation games, or dynamics that would derail your progress, the ability to say no calmly but firmly is the ultimate test. Women respect the man who prioritizes his path over temporary indulgence, even if they challenge that boundary in the moment. Social dynamics, then, are not a battlefield, but a mirror. Women are not trying to destroy your presence. They are measuring it. Each look, each test, each invitation is feedback. If you crumble, the signal of order dissolves. If you stand firm, the signal strengthens. Retention gives you the foundation to pass these tests naturally, not through manipulation, but through coherence. Your energy, your boundaries, your mission, all align into one consistent presence, and that is what commands respect long after the initial attraction fades. With every decision you postpone, life chooses in your place. To remain where you are is to accept inertia, but to cross the portal is to confront your own greatness. Time does not wait. If this calling resonated within you, leave the seal of learning with your like, subscribe, and activate the bell to embrace this journey, and move now to the recommended video, the next stage of your rite.